So, how many of you hear about or know about the fourth industrial revolution? I heard that, or I know that. Okay. Oh, okay. It's just heard, but you don't know about what is this. Okay. How about the people? Okay. So what is the, after you eating. What is the industrial revolution, like the first industrial revolution? Yeah.
Artificial intelligence, it's more like data. Let's say it's the era of the internet and computer.
Right. How about the people? Any perspectives, different perspectives? Any other thought? Because I'm going to show you different perspectives today about the first industrial revolution. Because when actually we launched the new concept of the industrial revolution, the focus was how we can empower the human. However, many people just focusing on how we can develop the new technology. However, mostly when we just try to say something like a AI or like a VR or AR, those kind of or 3D printing, those kind of technology, that is not totally new technology. Actually, for the VR, we invent the technology in 1838. Can you guess? So after 200 years, we finally use that technology for our life. So those kind of things, how we can make those kind of change, that was our idea. So one person had one idea, and then that person's idea changed the world. So that can be like the main focus of this lecture. So just think about that. If you have any kind of problem, or if you have any kind of situation, if you are the only one person, you can solve the problem. How you gonna do, and when you're gonna do. So that can be came from your characteristics or creativities or communication or critical thinking. However, how many times you think about yourself? So how much communication skill or how many competency you aware of your competency? So those kind of topic we're gonna talk about tonight. Does it make sense? Because usually when we try to think about ourselves, we just think about the skills and knowledge. What kind of skills I have and what kind of knowledge I have. However, in the first industrial revolution, we need to focus on who I am and who you are, and then what kind of the learner characteristics or the characteristics of the human we have. So that can be our topic tonight. So I'm from the University of Virginia. So just like a national university, every time whenever I go or wherever I go and then deliver my presentation, I have to introduce my university. So this is kind of the advertisement time. So the University of Virginia was established in the 1819. So it's like a 20 years old university. And it was established by the third US President, Thomas Jefferson. And then we are ranked as the number 2 public university. So in the US, we have the 4,400 universities, and out of 4,400, we are the 26th. This is like a pretty good university. And then we have about 17,000 students, undergraduate students, and about 7,000 graduate students. And if you see this, we call this the Rotunda. It was like a library 200 years ago. So if you see this is a Rotunda, and then over here is a big tower, like a big building, is where the faculty lives, and then the small building is where the student lives. So we live together, and then in the living room we have lecture. So still we just try to follow the tradition. So if you just select as a good student, but the good student means is not you got that the all A plus. So you need to prove how much the leadership you have, and then how much the contribution you can deliver to the society. So depending on those kind of criteria, we select these people, and then they can live here. However, if you live there, you have to make your fire for the winter. So in front of the door, you need to have lots of the wood. So also there's no the bathroom here. So you have to take all the stuff for the taking shower. So you need to go to the over here, and then after taking shower, you need to go back to the room. So even though it's not convenient, and many students, they thought it's really honored to be there. So we have those kind of tradition. And then this part is that I show you right now, and then this whole picture is university. So and then we call this the central campus. So we have north, south, east, west, which is so in the US, our university is like a town, and then schools and towns and a city. So when we do not have any big front gate. However, when you see the V mark on the road, then that's like a sign that you already entered the university. Does it make sense? Yeah. So I have 3 topics tonight to cover. So the first topic is the first industrial revolution. What will be changed? And then I'm going to talk about the new leaders for the new era and a new world of the digital natives, because they do not have any memory about the analog era. So they only know about digital era, so they do not have any memory for those kind of things. So we call them the different species. So over here, how many was born in between 1980 to 2000? Oh, we have a lot. I have some story about you guys. So we call you as a millennial generation, or like a Y generation, and then after 2000, if you're born, then we call the Generation Z. So between the millennial and Generation G, we have the huge difference. So we keep the study because you guys gonna be the 75% is of the total job, like a workplace worker. So which means that you guys gonna be the major from the 2025. So, and then the last topic gonna be, we're gonna just try to change from delivering knowledge to the sharing knowledge era. So like a kind of about 20 years ago, when you think about the knowledge, that can be delivered for inside the classroom or through the mass media or any kind of the media. It was able to deliver the information. However, these days, every 12 hours, the knowledge of the human being double up. So which means it's not possible to deliver the information with any kind of the media. So in this era, then how we gonna make some change in the education, and why those kind of the changes in education is important. So that can be my topic tonight. So first topic, as I said before, the first industrial revolution, what will be changed? So I'm going to explain about some first revolution. Fourth Industrial Revolution. What is the Fourth Industrial Revolution? However, I'm not going to talk about this kind of the revolution, but I just want to share this information because when you know about this, then you can understand why I want to say the education or the reform is very important in the Fourth Industrial Revolution era. So in December 2015, the Klaus Schwab, the founder of the World Economic Forum, he published the new article in the Foreign Affairs, the U.S. Foreign Affairs, and then he defined the Fourth Industrial Revolution is like a convergence to Industrial Revolution, transcending all the physical, digital, biological the boundaries. So which means because before the Fourth Industrial Revolution, each area has their own area. However, when we start the Fourth Industrial Revolution, it's going to be merged. So when we have the problem, it's not just a single problem, which means if you're from the biological area and then I'm from the physical area, we have to work together. Otherwise, we cannot. Only like a single person cannot find any solution for this kind of problem. And then when the World Economic Forum actually introduced the Fourth Industrial Revolution, they published the report which says the future of the jobs. Then the content of this the report scares us because it says in the advanced country by 2020, 7.1 million jobs are likely to disappear. Which means if you have your job by 2020, which means next year, your job gonna be disappear. So people are really scared because they just think, oh, because we have some AI robot, they gonna replace my work, which means tomorrow I'm not gonna have any job. So how I'm gonna live? So those kind of worry we have, and then they say 2 million new jobs will be created. So which means if you think about some of the job in your mind, that can be disappear tomorrow. However, totally new jobs will be created. So if you don't know about the new skills and knowledge, then you cannot get this kind of job. So that really makes us scared. And also, they says 65% of children entering the primary school in 2016 will ultimately end up working in the completely new jobs types of the new types that do not exist yet, which means about 13 years later from 2016, which is like a 2013. These when these kids actually enter have their jobs, the 65% of those children gonna be work in the totally new workplace. Isn't that scary? 65 means only the 35% of the jobs, current jobs, gonna be still existing, and other 65 jobs gonna be disappeared. So, however, when you say the Fourth Industrial Revolution, that means we have first, second, and third. When we have some First Industrial Revolution, that the impact has huge, because in that at that time, the factory which makes some of the clothes and those kind of stuff, that was their life. And then every day in the morning you go there and then make the work and make these kind of clothes. However, they say tomorrow you don't need to come to work no more for your entire life, because we have this kind of new technology, steam power, so we don't need you anymore. So people really upset, and then we have some strike. We said died strike. So many people died, and then they really broke or make a fire on the factory. So it was like a huge problem because when we have this kind of first industrial revolution, they say that they feel like oh, my life is done, the end. So these when they however, in the first industrial revolution, we don't have this kind of problem yet, right? So because when we have this from the first to the third industrial revolution, the focus was business. So business leaders make this kind of industrial revolution to make more benefit, or to make more the revenue. However, this fourth industrial revolution is a people focus. By creating or by making this kind of new technology, we try to empower the people. So before the fourth industrial revolution, we have to use our power to work something. However, as a human being, that is not only things that we can work. So as a human being, we have to think, and then we have to work by thinking or by using our creativity, those kind of stuff. However, mostly when we have any kind of job these days, those kind of jobs require our the movement or our strengths. So in the fourth industrial revolution, the AI robot and those kind of the robots, and they gonna replace those kind of jobs, which as a human being we have to use our power. However, they gonna replace those kind of jobs, and then as a human being, we're gonna just focusing on as a human being how we're gonna think and how we're gonna critical think, and then how we're gonna solve some of the complex problems. So that can be the focus from now on. So if you just want to keep working as a financial area or other as a lawyer and as a doctor, those kind of area and jobs gonna disappear. So how many of you interested in to take some of the jobs in the finance? No? Oh, okay. However, you have to change your mind. So you can still work in the financial area. However, you have to be some different person. So right now, so in front of your computer, right now you play with the number. However, in the first industrial revolution, you have to play with the people. So you need to listen what they need, and then you need to provide the solution for them. Not just for the mass, the solution for the mass people, but for the individual people. So those kind of the new skills you need to actually acquire to be success as a financial manager in the first industrial revolution. So even though we have those kind of job like a lawyer and then the financial manager, other stuff, however, and even for the teacher, like a professor like me, if I just keep teaching like this, my job gonna be gone. So I have to keep listening you guys' idea, and I have to make you talk. So not for the teaching, but for the coaching, I need to change the teaching strategy. So I need to make you think, and then I need to make you talk. So in this lecture, I'm gonna ask a lot of questions. I'm not gonna scare you, so don't worry. So, and also there will be no right or wrong answer. So you can just talk whatever you like. But I'm not gonna give you the F in this lecture. So I'm gonna show you the 4 different changes in the first industrial revolution era. So first in the health science area, and then the business area, and transportation area, in education. How many of you hear about IBM Watson? Okay, so what is this?
I saw it last night. I was looking and then it's they provide you a sort of a cloud where they input your data and analyze you, and then they charge you like $30 a month to $80 a month. It's an analytical tool, sort of like
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So like a elephant. So this is the elephant. Then you see this part from the article. So like this kind of the IBM Watson is like they try to expand their area. So, and in the 1989, they start as a people like a software which can play the chess. However, they try to expand the area because they think, oh, if we can play they made this Watson, so if our Watson can play chess, then they can like play other things, and then they might because we have some the machine learning or the deep learning, so they can do better things or other things. So these days they try to use this Watson to predict someone's the disease or the illness. So we have some the experiment. We have like a human doctor and then IBM Watson doctor, and then we have some patient, and then we try to see some comparison between what Watson says and what the human being, like a human doctor says. And then the result was the 97% was like the same result, which means when you think about, when you imagine the hospital, you have to go there by subway or by car, and it takes some time, at least 30 minutes to 1 hour or 2 hours. When you go there, you need to take some ticket and then waiting in the seat. And then there are many other people, and then even in the hospital, you can have some infection because almost every person in the hospital has some disease or the illness, because that's why they come. So we have those kind of problem. However, as I told you before, a 97% is like the same result, means you don't need to go to the hospital. So if we just connect to the Watson website, and if we just input, provide you the information about where you sick and how you sick, those kind of stuff, then this Watson can give you some a prescription. However, not every single prescription, this Watson not gonna give you the same prescription for you, but this Watson will try to provide some prescription, individualized prescription. So these days we have some new technology, which means if you spill and then if you just send this the liquid from your mouth to the company, and if you pay $20, then you can they're gonna just analyze all your DNA. So which means even though we have many different types of medicine, then depending on the people's DNA, then each medicine has some different impact. However, do we have any choice that we can select? I want to have this kind of the medicine. No, we did not have those kind of choice. However, based on your DNA, this IBM Watson will give you some individualized prescription, which is really works well for yourself. Does it make sense? And so in the Harvard University area, we have some 6 different huge, large hospital area. Within this kind of 6 large hospital, we have over 1,000 of data from the 20 years old. Someone who has the cancer, someone who has other disease. So based on that, we try to create some of the health management app. So when you download this app, every day you just put what did you eat, and then how many hours you long, or how many steps you just take. Depending on that, this app will predict when you're gonna die and how you're gonna die, what kind of disease you're gonna have, and then this app will give you some prescription, how you're gonna be live heavily. So if you just keep doing this, you're gonna have cancer in six months. So you need to change your diet plan. You have to change your workout plan. So those kind of things will give you through this kind of app. And also the virtual reality and the augmented reality, we're gonna use this kind of the technology for the medical training. So I'm gonna show you one picture, like a video clip. So this is like a AR software. So you can see this inside of the human being. And also, when they scan the head, when they move the hand, this means everything you see right now is your data. So if I use your data, it's going to be changed. Does it make sense? So I have some sound, but over here is no sound. So this is also like the same thing, so your data. So when I see the body, then I can see the lung and the heart. So I can see what kind of problem you have. And even inside of the head, I can see the bones. So to be a doctor these days, they have to memorize everything. However, with this kind of technology, they don't need to do. They don't need to memorize everything. And also, this is really good for the patient, because when we have the new doctor, who does not have any kind of experience, then, for example, when they have deliver the baby, there are many different types of situations they can have during the delivery. However, if this doctor has no experience, then who's gonna care for the mother's health and then the baby's health? So, by using this kind of technology, they can train to different types of situation, and then depending on how they're gonna do, then we can see what kind of results they can see. So when last year when I went to the Central Florida University, they have this kind of the program. So for the teachers, for the doctors, for the FBI, and some firefighters. So depending on the situation, for example, you choose this kind of you make this kind of decision, and depending on your decision, then what kind of result you're gonna have. So when you see that, then you can when you have the same situation, then you can choose the different decision. However, in real life, when you have this kind of situation, then when you choose the decision, and if it was wrong, then the baby gonna be dying, right? So this is really good for the patient too. So this is what kind of changes we're gonna have in business. So we can have some personalized marketing using the AI and big data, the mining. So what is this? So how many of you tried to using the internet, the shopping? So how are we gonna do? So when you go to the website, every time you make decision, or sometimes you just come out without any buying something. So when you come out without buying anything, this AI, the thing starts think. So this one starts think why you leave, why you left. and then how I can make you purchase. So this AI starts collect the data, and then the same area, same gender, same the age, and then same track. So click this product and click this product, click this product. How many seconds stay in the same website, and then they found the solution. So sometimes because of the price, someone just left. Sometimes depending on the product, someone just left. They found the solution. So what's your name? Dana. Dana just tried to go to the different website. However, it shows you some of the advertisement. Hey Dana, if you buy this product, within 5 minutes, I'm going to give you a 10% discount. So when you click that, that is not the end. When you click that, when you purchase, this AI keep tracks on the data and then show you when someone buy this product, what other product this person buy. So they just try to give you some series of the product which relate to this product. If you buy some the coffee machine, it try to show some of the filter or capture, those kind of stuff. So it's like a really personalized marketing plan they're gonna use by using this kind of AI or the big data. And also in the working place training, we also use the VR or AR because about 3 years old, when the U.S. Department of the Labor Force, she tried to visit some of the company, and then the company product was like a huge robot. That robot, if this robot has some the problem, to fix this problem, they need to pay like $1 million. However, she does not know about the product, and she does not know about the robot, and then the CEO of the company, he just told her, hey, can you try to operate this robot? And she was like, oh no, I don't want to do that. But he just persuaded her, and then she just tried to use and then have this AR, the machine, like a headset, and then when she actually moved this kind of the movement, the machine actually operates. So which means even though someone who does not have any kind of knowledge or skills for those kind of specific equipment or the robot, we can operate those kind of stuff. So this is like a really change the world, the technology. And also, many people think the robot will replace the jobs. However, we need to think differently. Because when we actually spend 20 hours or 18 hours our time per day at work, is that really meaningful for your life? Because you have your life and you have to do work. Now, how we can make some balance? And then, as a human being, do you really have to use the power or strength? You have to make some digging, some hole, and these kind of things really human being have to do. So that kind of the question was the starting point, why we need to change these kind of things. So rather than just replacing our job, they're going to try to help our job, and then people can spend more time for their life. So I'm going to show you one other video about what kind of changes we're going to have in the business area. So this is like one of the construction company. So over here, this is like a field manager, and then we have some inside of the company. So we have two different teams. They're gonna have some meetings, and then when they show this kind of the picture, the blueprint, the inside of the company, they can see the same thing, and then they can change, and then they can keep talk. And then when they make some of the changes in the field manager, they can make some of the change to build the buildings. This is like in other country, other people also join the meetings. And then when they analyze these kind of the soil, they found one problem, and then they just change some plan, and then by click the one button in the field manager to the field manager, he got that the information, and then how they're gonna make those kind of changes. This video show this kind of the process. So in the previous period, the memorize is really important. However, as you can see, every information will be shown up in your screen. So you don't need to memorize everything. So this person ordered this kind of equipment to make these kind of changes. And then when this person click this button, this person checked how many the equipment to actually have, and then this person delivered this equipment to the field. So in this video, can you tell who needs to memorize anything? No, right? So in the kind of in the third industrial revolution, memory skill is really important because the knowledge knowledge human being has was the limited. However, as I told you before, every 12 hours, our human beings the knowledge will be the double up. So it's really hard to memorize everything. So now we need to know how to use those kind of data and how to use those kind of the data better. Just like that, even though you don't know about this equipment, you can just scan and it show up everything. So this is about what kind of changes we're going to have in the transportation area. So how many know about the automatic car? So automatic vehicle.
Elon Musk in the US was actually developing that.
Uh-huh.
With the tube, they call it the tube, there's a truck.
Right,
truck,
right.
and they're waiting, so
Right. Elon Musk has any kind of car. So Elon Musk has like a car company, a manufacturer? No. Yeah. So that's the point. So if you think about the car industry, when you have new technology, the car industry or car company have to start this kind of the new technology, right? However, this automated car industry, who is the number one or the frontier? Google, Uber, those kind of company is the number one or frontier. Do you think they have any car? Do you think they make any car? They are not the Hyundai or they are not the Kia. They are not the Toyota or any kind of thing. So they do not actually produce any car. However, we call them as a frontier or the automated car. So which means the changing your thinking if you change your thinking, then you can make a new world to the world. And also, when you think about car, do you need to buy a car or you can just share a car? Think about that. So if you have a car, you need to work. So even though you have a car, you need to use this car to commute the workplace. And then it's going to take 30 minutes or less than 1 hour. You go there and park, and entire your day you work inside of the company. And then when you just done with your work, you just drive back to your home. it takes again 30 minutes and 1 hour. So within 24 hours, only you're gonna use the 1 hour, the maximum gonna be the 2 hour, right? However, you need to pay for your car, you need to pay tax, you need to pay parking. So they just think, oh, okay, do we really have to buy a car? Or when you need a car, can you just share a car? So we're gonna just change this system. So I'm gonna show you how we can change this kind of automated car. Can change, like a shift from the buying a car to the sharing car. So this is a nice house in the morning. So when you just click button, the automated car will come to you to commit to your work. So as you can see, there's no handle, which means this car is an automated car. So before we have this kind of automated car, inside of the car is like most car designer consider how we can make fast car or this, like how we can make this car stop well. However, these days they change their mind. So they have to consider how they can make this inside of the car as an entertaining area, which means because they're not going to drive. And however, it's going to take 1 hour or 30 minutes. So what they going to do? They're going to, just like in flight, inside of flight. So if you try to watch some the movies, what is going to be important? Not only just for the screen, but also sound. So they try to consider what kind of the point they need to consider to make some better entertaining place as in the inside of the car. So you need to change your thought about this kind of car. So when you get a call, you just click, push the button, and then you can just talk to them. And then when you came to the workplace, when you came out, and this car go to the parking lot and park by itself. And because of that, they do not have lots of space because they don't need to park. They just move to the garage, and then this just move to some space. And when you're done, and you can just call this car again, and then you can see where this car came. So how many of you use the Uber? Have you ever? Yeah. So when you order Uber, you can see where this car came coming, right? So this kind of thing you can see. And then when we have people, they just stop automatically, and you ask this person, hey, can you cross first? Those kind of stuff. So when you have a date, so you just spend your time with your girlfriend and boyfriend, and this car will park by itself. And then when you're done, it just came to you again. So you don't need to buy a car. So whenever you need a car, you can just share your car. This is like a new concept of the car industry. Okay, finally, in education, what kind of changes we're going to have? How many of you have some experience to use the VR or AR? So how was it? So what kind of content did you use?
I want to research smart city.
Ah, ah, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah.
It's not
Mhm.
real. It's like in different space.
Right. So, how many of you actually tried to make some of the Google, the cardboard to make this kind of VR? Like some of the paper based, and then you need to make some like a craft, and then you can just use as like a VR headset. No? If you use that, you just take like a $5, less than $5, like a $2. You can make this VR headset. If you have that, you can enjoy those kind of the VR content. The really good things about this VR is you can have some everything looks like a weird, and then mostly when you watch something, we only focusing on the front. However, for this kind of VR is a 360. So when you turn your head, you can see the everything. Like if it is like the space, you can see all the stars and those kind of stuff. If it is under the sea, you can see all the sharks and those kind of stuff. So it's a really different, like open your eyes. So if you think about if you need to go to some new place for the field trip and for the other stuff, if you go there, depending on your experience, you can just see some small part of the new place. However, if you use this kind of VR, then you can visit every single spot in the new place, depending on how many hours you have, or depending on how much intention you have. So, and also, we use the learning analytics. How many of you know about the learning analytics? What is the learning analytics? Okay, so learning analytics is when I was a graduate student, I was in the learning analytics team, and then we create some of the prediction, the program. So usually we have the 16 week as the semester. However, after start the new semester, within 2 weeks, we can predict your final grade. Within 2 weeks. So we can just show you some of the signal. You're gonna be F, which means like a red signal. You're gonna be B or C, D, gonna be the yellow. If you're gonna be A or B, we're gonna show you the green. So these kind of things is a learning analytics program. So we have many other variables to predict those kind of the signals. And not only just for this kind of the early warning system, but also we can use this kind of the big data, like a learning analytics program, to make some of the personalized learning. Because every single student has a different prior knowledge and the learning curve. But these days, we usually, like teachers or professors, we usually try to deliver what I learned and what I know. However, every single student has a different learning curve or the prior knowledge. So depending on their skills or their knowledge, those kind of stuff, we need to provide different types of the content actually. But these days we cannot do that because we have only the 1 hour. Within 1 hour, we have to provide this much kind of the information. However, when you use this kind of learning analytics program, then we can make this kind of personalized learning. So I'm going to show you. Oh, and so for this kind of free translation, right now it's about like a 97% is accuracy we have. If you use the Google translation, then from the Korean to English or English to Japanese or Japanese to any kind of language, the accuracy is 93%. However, we just make this better. So maybe within a couple of years, we're gonna make this 100%, which means without any kind of the language barrier, we can watch some the YouTube video or the MOOC content. We can learn from those kind of content, because even though we have really good content in MOOC, like a MOOC is like a massive online open content. So it is free. However, even though it is free, if you don't understand some of the different language, you cannot use this kind of the free content. However, when you have this kind of free translation service, then you can learn, you can use this kind of free content. So I'm going to show you what kind of changes we're going to have in education. So they came to school, and as you can see, that every person has some the mobile device. So they're not going to have any kind of the textbook. So printing company going to be close their door. And so when the teachers have their screen, the student also can have the same screen on the mobile device. So they learn about the color. And this is like one student in like a country and this student in the B country. So in the different country, they study together. Because by using this kind of technology, even though they say something in their language, then they can automatically translate to the my language. So they can talk each other, and they can teach each other, they can learn each other. And this is like AR. So when you go to some of the field trip, so if you're using the AR, then you can have more like a live experience. This kind of technology we already have in DC, like Washington DC. When you go to some museum, then we can have some skins and bones software like app. If you download, if you go to some of the bones, if you scan it, you can see the skins and like what kind of foods they have and what was why they disappeared from the walls. And so if you just click this button, then you can have more of the information. So as I told you before, I don't want to try to explain or show you what kind of the changes we're going to have in the fourth industrial revolution. However, I just want to say these technology was not the new things, right? So, for example, for the IBM Watson, this technology is 30 years old technology. So they actually developed this IBM Watson in 1989. However, they tried to expand their area of the IBM Watson to the health science field or any other field. And also, right now, they try to expand their field to the lawyer. So they try to make some of the lawyer IBM Watson. So when you have some of the lawsuit or those kind of problem, you can just access to log into the IBM Watson and you can type what kind of problem you have, and it's gonna give you some of the look for advice. And for the VR, so as I told you before, this was like a 1838. So we already have this technology in 1830 years, because 1838, which means about more than 200 years ago, we already have this kind of VR technology. However, Google, they make some of the Google Cloud Ghost, and then they change our world. So since they launched the Google Cardboard, because before they had that, the VR technology was if you want to use that, you have to pay over $10,000, something like that. However, when they have that, you just need to pay $10 to have your own VR set. So that idea changed our world. And also for the AR, actually US Air Force, they already made this technology in 1992. However, when you actually start to use the AR, do you remember Pokemon Go? So when you have this kind of Pokemon Go, then the public, the people actually use those kind of AR technology. And then this AR technology also changed our world too. However, who think about this, the Pokemon Go? The CEO of the Pokemon Go was the Japanese guy who every single day play outside. However, when he watched the kid who play the games, he just think, hey, why kids keep just playing games? So he just want them to go outside, but play together with the people, and then play together with the community. So that's why he make this kind of AR, the Pokemon Go. So if he does not have those kind of idea, we're not gonna have this kind of AR technology in our life. So this kind of the idea or change is really important. And then for this kind of the automated car, the Carnegie Mellon University, they already have this kind of technology in 1984. This called NABRAP. They already have this kind of technology in 1984. However, who introduced this automated car to the public? Google and Uber, which has no car in their company. So who make this kind of change is who has some idea. So creativity and critical thinking and communication, collaboration, those kind of 4C is those kind of competencies is really important in the fourth industrial revolution. And also 3D printing was the same thing. So it was created in 1981. However, if you want to use this kind of the 3D printing, you have to pay over $50,000 to buy the machine, and then over $1,000 to buy the computer 3D graphic programs. So it's expensive. However, recently they changed the printing technology. So if you just pay $400, then you can buy the 3D printing printer at home, and also those kind of 1 to 3D programs is free. So you have some of the free program to make some of the modeling for the 3D. And also, if you just pay $400, is not that expensive, right? Because if you just want to buy the paper-based printer, you still have to pay about the $200. So if you just pay double, you can have your 3D printer. So these kind of changes, who make these kind of changes? People. So we have to have this kind of the people who actually can think, or who actually have this kind of creativity. However, when you think about the school system, when you say some wrong things, then the teachers or professors, how they're gonna say, what they're gonna say, you are not correct, right? However, they have to say like this, oh, you have different perspectives. So if I say, oh, you have different perspectives, why you think about like that? Oh, how you can think like that? So if you have this kind of question, then we can just keep enhance your creativity. However, if I keep saying, hey, you are not right, you're wrong, then you're never gonna say any kind of the creativity ideas, right? And also in our school system, if you really have some good collaboration skills, so when you have some test, you use your collaboration skill, then how are you gonna do? you're gonna be kicked out of the school because that's the cheating, right? So our school system has those kind of problem. So even though we really have good creativity or communication, collaboration, we cannot use that, or we cannot make this enhance for ourselves because of our school system. So that's why if we do not change our school system, we cannot make this kind of the new leader who has the creativity, communication skills, and collaboration skills, and the critical thinking skills. That's why we need to focusing on the how we're going to change and what we're going to change in education to prepare for the fourth industrial revolution. So I'm not going to take any break. So if you want to use some restroom, then you can just come out and then, yeah, do whatever you like. Because this is just like a 2-hour session, so I'm going to just keep going. But you can just yeah. So if okay, you want to use the restroom? So I'm going to talk about some new leaders for new era and a new world of the digital natives. Because of these kind of changes, we need the new types of the leaders, and we need the new types of the competency. And I'm going to talk about what kind of competency is the important in the fourth industrial revolution. So when you see this screen, in the right hand side, that's the competency, important competency for the third industrial revolution. And when you see the screen, the left hand side is the 10 important competency in the fourth industrial revolution. So creativity, it was number 10, but right now the number 3. And then the cognitive flexibility and emotional intelligence, it was not in the list. They are not in the list in the third industrial revolution. They came to right now we have these kind of thing in the list. So the creativity, critical thinking, complex problem solving, and the cognitive flexibility and emotional technology, intelligence. These kind of things are important in the first industrial revolution. However, after he took a picture, she took a picture, I'm gonna yeah. So, however, I told you there was 10 important competency in the first industrial revolution. However, out of 10, 4 competencies is like belong to the social skills, and then 2 competencies belong to the cognitive skills, which means social skills and cognitive skills is important in the fourth industrial revolution. So what is a social skill? So what is a social competency? Anyone can guess? What is a social competency or skills?
Ability to relate to other people effectively, or
Right. So this is like an ability to understand other people and ability to adjust your attitude or your thought depending on the other's thought or attitude. Does it make sense? So it's like because as a human being we have to live together. However, until the third industrial revolution, every time we just focusing on the competition. We have to win from the other people. So we usually don't try to live together and think about other people. However, in the first industrial revolution, these skills is really important because 4 out of 10 competencies belong to the social skill. So you need to think about that. So if you want to be the leader of the fourth industrial revolution, you have to consider other people and try to understand other people and try to help other people. So those kind of things are really important to be the good leader in the fourth industrial revolution. And then this is like a 21st century competencies. So we call the 4C. So this is like a starting letter. So we have 4 C's: communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativities. So these kind of 4 C is important in the fourth industrial revolution. And what is the competency? So I just keep saying the competency. So 10 competency is important in the fourth industrial revolution. And then I told you the 4 competency, like a 4C, is important in the fourth industrial revolution. However, what is the competency? So I'm going to try to explain. So competency originates from the competentia in Latin. So what does this mean is try to assign some task to people or person. So try to assign a task of people or person. We need to have some competency and competency. So competency is like a knowledge and skill, which means if you assign someone to some work, they have to have some skills and knowledge for the specific work, right? And also, they also need to have some competency. So competency is like their characteristics. So what kind of the attitude they have, what kind of how can I say, like a communication or creativity, those kind of things is like inside of their characteristics. So we need these kind of 2 things. However, because they came from the root, sometimes we use them mixed. However, these are actually totally different. So we have to tell the difference between these 2. So when you think about this iceberg, like above the water, that's the competency, like a CE, competency, and under the water is competency. So the skills and knowledge, so you can actually see because it's above the water. If you, for example, if you use a pen and then if you can make some like a spin, I can see you can do, right? So that kind of thing is the competency. And then what kind of person you are and what kind of characteristics you have, I never cannot see, right? So that's why we call this under the water part. However, this above the water part is only the 10% of the human being. And this like under the water part is the 90% of you're the human being as the human. So this is actually really important. However, until now, we don't need to focusing on this because we usually just ask them what he do, what they do, right? We never ask what kind of person they are. So we need to focusing on this. However, we don't need to focusing on this so far. But in the fourth industrial revolution, we have to look at the part, and then we need to focusing on here because, as I told you, 7.1 million jobs going to be disappear, and then totally new jobs, like 2 million jobs will created. So, hold on please. So, when you have some new jobs and then the new position, you can just learn these skills and knowledge easily. However, you cannot make this change because it takes a long time to make yourself and your characteristics. Question.
Just a quick question. So millions of jobs will disappear. So if somebody study computer science now, will the person survive? Will the job continue to exist for this person?
So yeah, that's a good question. So let's think about this. As you said, someone from the computer science area, one person gonna be disappear. His job gonna disappear, and this person's job gonna be okay. So let me explain. If he tried to focusing on how they can make some coding, make some code, his job gonna disappear. Because make those kind of code, AI robot gonna be better. However, if this person focusing on how he can make some architecture structure of the program, his the job gonna be okay. Does it make sense? Because usually when you think about some AI or robot, even though it looks like you, or even though it really looks like smart, however, if we don't put any kind of input, it's not gonna do anything, right? So like this machine or the AI, this machine can do something based on what we order. However, so because of that, so when we actually order, hey, make this kind of code, the machine can do that. However, this part, like creating new things about the new programs and new software, and make some of the new architecture or the structure, that's totally new things from the scratch. So even though we do not have any kind of this kind of new software or program, based on your the head or creativity, or from your the creativity, if you like build or like make this kind of the new programs, this machine cannot follow you. So if we call this differently. This is like a learning engineer. This is learning scientist. So if you just want to be the learning engineers, your job gonna disappear. But if you want to be the learning data scientists, then your job gonna be okay. Does it make sense? So this is the same thing with the finance. So in the finance area, if you're just focusing on the number, just like type the number and then based on to give them the receipt and the type, your job gonna be disappear, because this one, like how many digits you can make some the calculation, like 2 or 3 digits. However, this computer do like a 10 or 20 digit. However, the machine or computer cannot think, right? So based on we have some the input, this one just makes some the output. However, when you work as a financial manager, you need to listen what kind of needs the customer has, and then what kind of individualized the solution you can provide. With that things this machine cannot mimic. Does it make sense? Yeah, that was a good question. Okay. So this is like 8 different types of the competency, which in the US. We have some really good private high schools. They start this kind of the competencies. So when you take some the high school class, you're gonna just have some the grade, right? A, B, C, or D, right? However, they just declare they're not gonna give you any kind of the grade. So these are the transcript. So they just gonna give you them what kind of competencies they earned when they take this kind of class. They can be the math, they can be the English, they can be the science. So depending on the subject area they took, then what kind of the competencies that they earned. So for example, for the complex communication, so we have some these kind of the competency too. And then for the leadership and teamwork, we have this kind of competency, and then global perspectives and habits of mind. So depending on this kind of 8 different competency, we have this kind of the sub-competency. So when you take some the class, based on this, we're gonna try to give you the competency list. So when you take this math class, you earned this competency, and this competency. However, you can just worry about some the other things. How I can enter the university, right? However, as a University of Virginia, I told you we are the ranked 26 out of the 4,400. We really wanna have really good student. However, when we see the transcript, traditional transcript, he has a 90 point, which means A, and he has a 89 point, which means B. Between these two people, can I tell who's really have good talent in the math? This is not possible, right? Because sometimes when you have some the multiple choice, he was lucky, and he does not have lucky, or he just like think deeply because he really liked the math. So maybe today his answer was not right. Maybe tomorrow his answer gonna be the right answer. So when I can look the difference between these two people, I'm gonna select this person as the University of Virginia student. However, only when I see the transcript, who's gonna be the University of student? He's gonna be, right? So those kind of problem we have. So for example, 97. Someone got the 97 point out of 100, and someone got the 93% out of 100. These two people both has a A. Who you gonna select? 97? Are you sure? So those kind of problems we still have. However, if we have this kind of the new transcript, when you click the button, then you can see this person, this student, like a fully the 4 years history, what kind of class they take, and what kind of feedback they got, and what kind of paper they submit. So depending on those kind of the full data, like 4 years of the full data, I can tell between the difference between two people. So not just for the like a number from the transcript, like a traditional transcript, then I can tell, oh, this person really have the good passion in the math. Then who I'm gonna just take. So I'm gonna take this person. So not only just for them, like the student, they can recognize what kind of competency they have, and then they can, when they actually enter the university, this system also works better for them. So these kind of changes we have, that's why we need to make some of those kind of changes in the education. And also this is like we call the map, the competency map. So this list is the list of the class for the 4 year, and the left hand side, this list is the competencies to be the graduate, to graduate this school. So depending on the class, the learning objectives and the learning activities, we try to make some the characteristics of this kind of the learning objectives and the learning activities, and try to match with between these two. So when you see the P, that means when you take this class, you can earn this kind of competency. Can you guess? So when you have this kind of table, then it is not actual the transcript. However, you can see yourself, what kind of competency you have. Hey, based on this, I can say, hey, I have communication skills, competency. I have the leadership competency. I have like a collaboration competency. I have the teamwork. I have the habits of mind. Those kind of competency, I can recognize what I have. However, if we don't have those kind of the competency, the map or transcript, we never gonna have any chance to see who I am, who you are, right? So that's why we try to change this kind of the transcript in the education area. And the last topic is we need to change the knowledge delivery system from the delivery knowledge to the sharing knowledge, because this is like as I told you, how many hours or how many years take to double up the knowledge, the amount of knowledge to which the human being has. So before the 1900, it takes 500 years or 500 years. However, between 1900 to 1950, it just takes 50 years. And it just 20 years and 10 years in 2017. In human being, when we double up the knowledge, the total amount of knowledge, it just takes 13 months. So every single year, our human beings' knowledge double up, make this double up. So, however, next year, how many hours it's gonna take? 12 hours, which means even though today I told you this is right, however, tomorrow at the same time, like a 5:30, when you come, when I say something, it's gonna be right or wrong. Every 12 hours, the total amount of the human knowledge is gonna be the double up. So it is not possible to deliver this huge amount of knowledge by the lecture or any kind of the method. So that's why it is not the era of the delivery knowledge, because about here, our knowledge has at least 20 years or 10 years expiration date. Does it make sense? Because if I say something in 1970s, I have 20 years expiration date. However, if I say today, tomorrow, I'm gonna have only the 12 hours expiration date. So it is not possible to deliver this kind of information using this kind of lecture. So we need to let them actually search the right answer or right data from this kind of like a sea of the information. So that can be the really important. So as I told you before, we have the above the water part of the iceberg and then under the sea part of the iceberg. So in the fourth industrial revolution, you don't need to have any kind of degree, because in the US, the many companies do not require to submit your degree. Does it make sense? So when you try to apply for some the new company, IBM or Google and those kind of the company, they're not going to ask you, hey, can you submit your degree from the Harvard or the Stanford, those kind of things? They're not going to ask anything. However, they're going to ask you what you actually can do for my company. So the interview process is going to make huge change. So before the previous years old, then actually they ask those kind of the degree or some other license, those kind of stuff. However, they not going to ask anything, and then they just ask you come to the company, and then they just want you to show what you can do. So they try to put you in some team, and then stay there 2 or 3 days, and then move to the different team, and you stay there 2 or 3 days, and then they try to see, as the HR manager, I'm gonna just try to see what can you do, and also as a team, a co-worker, they also try to see how they're gonna work together, and then what kind of contribution this person can provide for this kind of team. So these two things is really important requirement to be the person, like a worker in the Google or IBM. So those companies from last year, they actually do not require any kind of those kind of degree or the license, those kind of things, certificate, those kind of things. So even though you just take some of the MOOC class, and then as long as you really like those kind of area, and then you can just have some competency to show what can you do, then they're gonna hire you. So this kind of process, hiring process also changes. So even though you have some job training or online learning, and some even for the volunteer program, as long as you have some the batch, or as long as you have some the competency, both for the competence or competency, as long as you can show your a proof of your competency or competency, you can get your job. So we have those kind of changes. So it is not important where you study and what kind of the license or the certificate you earned. It is important what you actually can do and what you actually can contribute to the company. Those two things is really important in the first industrial revolution. So for this kind of digital batch, in the US, we start this kind of open batch. Because this is not the school system. So even though you don't take any kind of class in the university, you need to have some the proof. Hey, I can do something. So that's why we try to make this kind of the open batch. And also we have some the edible log. This is a new system, and this is like a, when you try to have or show some the competency, and when you try to take some of the class or when you do some the learning, the activities, how are you gonna like proof of the learning? So that's why we try to build this kind of the edible log system. So what is the edible log? Edible log is like a, even though he's my friend and he's like a math, he's really good at math, and then he teach me 1 hour. Then I can earn this edible log. Does it make sense? So he's a chef, and I want to be chef, and I just take his class, not actually class, but I just came to him and asked him, hey, can you teach me how to make the kimchi jjigae? And then he just teach me in 1 hour, and I can get this the 1 block. So based on the how many blocks I earned, then I can show my competency in some specific area. Does it make sense? So, like, for example, I took this many kind of math class, not the math class, but the math lesson from the her or him or the him. Then if I just earned like a 20 or the 40 or 60 different types of the edible log, then I can be the teacher at school as a math teacher. So these kind of concepts we start from the Texas, because if you think about the U.S. the educational system, if you want to go to the state university within the state, so if you are the Virginia residents, if you go to the state university like University of Virginia, you need to pay $15,000 per year. He always calculate. So $15,000 per year just for the tuition. And you have to pay for the dormitory. You have to pay some of the meal plan. Not only just you cannot buy just 1 meal. You have to pay. You have to buy the 3 meals per day. So and also the textbook is really expensive. For example, 1 textbook like usually between the $150 to $300. So if I ask you buy the 8 textbook for my class, you need to pay over $1,000. However, you're gonna take like at least 6 different class per semester, which means you need to pay about $6,000 just for the textbook. So if you just combine these the tuitions and other like a textbook and living expenses, it's gonna be huge amount of money. However, not within the one state. If you are the Virginia residents, however, if you want to go to the university in California, a different state, you have to pay $45,000 per year, which means 3 times expensive. So if you just combine this everything, you need to pay about between the $400,000 to like $600 to graduate. So it is not just optional. So you have to select, hey, I'm going to pay $400,000 to have this kind of the university degree, or I'm going to use that money for my life. That's why in the US, the university, the entrance level, the rate is not high, because that is really expensive decision. So even though you do not go to the university, you still want to prove yourself and also you still want to learn and earn the knowledge and the learning. So that's why we start this kind of program. But in this the ed block, it is not just for the learning, so, which means like not just for the above of the water. So something we can just say knowledge and skill, but also we can just say like artistry, problem solving, or communication. Which means these are over the water or under the water. Under the water, right? So when you try to hire someone, if you just look the knowledge and skills, the possibility you're gonna be failed is higher, right? Because even though this person has a knowledge and skill, but his attitude, his like a leadership, or his like a collaboration skill, it can be low, right? So he cannot be like a work as a co-worker. So he gonna be like a troublemaker in the company. So you have to look at this person's under the water part and then above the water part together. So that's why we try to have this kind of develop together, not only just for the knowledge and skills, but also for the competencies. This is like a new program. So we just try to when I say you, the we means the U.S. So in the U.S. we start to develop this program about 2 years ago. So this is the last slide, I think. About 20 years ago, we have won the theory. We say there are 3 different boxes in our life. The first box from our born, we have education box. We need to study, and then after that, we have the work box. We have to work, and then after retire, we need to have the retirement and the leisure box. However, that was 20 years ago, right? But in the first industrial revolution, we only had one box. From the birth to the die, we have to study, work, and play. So that's why usually we try to say the work balance, like a work-leisure balance, is we just say work-balance, those kind of things. So that's why we have this kind of thing. So we changed. So it was like a education, work, retirement, and leisure. We have 3 different boxes, but these days we only have the one box. And also, about 20 or 3 years ago, when you learn some of the skills and knowledge, you can get some job secure, like a secure job. However, these days, even though you have some of the skills and knowledge, there is no job secure. So you have to keep studying, you have to keep work, you have to keep play. So that's why we say these days is the lifelong time, the lifelong learning time. So I have more. I think I can just skip this. Have you ever heard about the micromanaging? So because we have some of the millennial here, so someone who was born from between 1980 to 2000, their ability to focusing on something is just like less than 8 seconds. However, goldfish, their ability is 9 seconds, which means this millennial generation has less focusing capability less than the goldfish. However, they really have some the good concentration power when they really find they really want to focusing on and they like it and they have some really good motivation. They're gonna have some the super concentration power. So they have some two different things. So this 90-second means that this kind of millennial the generation, there was maximum concentration time. So rather than 1 hour or 30 minutes the content, we try to make some 90-second content with one single subject with multiple application. So that's why we have this single topic and multiple application. Because usually within for myself too. So for 2 hours I have many different topics. However, tomorrow you're gonna memorize only 10% of what I said. However, if I just give you some of the textbook, you're gonna memorize 20% of the what I said. If I show you this kind of PowerPoint, you're gonna memorize only 30% of the what I said. If I just do some of the demonstration, then you're gonna memorize the 50% of the what I said. If you actually do something while I talk, while I do the lecture, then you're gonna memorize 70% of what I talk. However, when I make you teach each other, then you're gonna memorize 90% of what I talk. So we have that kind of the pyramid from the passive learning to the active learning. So based on that, we try to have this kind of thing. And also the most important things is about this micro-learning is non-linear learning. When you listen to the lecture, do you have any choice to the selection of the topic? No, right? So it's like a linear type, linear learning. So I decide what I'm gonna talk, and you just listen. However, when you have this kind of micro-learning, it's gonna be the non-linear learning with personalized learning. So which means you can start from the 3, you can start from 4. You don't need to start from the 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes if you really like to study the 7, you can start the 7, go back to 1, and then come back to 3, those kind of stuff. So this kind of thing is like a new teaching strategy for the millennial generation. So as I told you before, we have some changes in the many different areas. And so we have some of the changes in the education. And as you can see, this is like how many numbers of the global user for the desktop and the mobile. After 2013, the mobile users, number of mobile users is like keep increasing. However, desktop users is like stay. So if you try to study or if you try to make some new business, you need to focus on the mobile. If you just try to make some content for the desktop, you're gonna be failed. And also, this is like how many percentage of the mobile share of total the digital minute. So when you use the internet, how many hours you're gonna use using your mobile device? The US, 70% of the internet time was used by the mobile device, which means only 29% of they use the PC to access to the internet. And for the Indonesia, they have 91%. They use the internet using the mobile. So it is not the PC era, it is not the mobile era. When you talk about the first industrial revolution. So this is like the Ebbinghaus, the forgetting curve. So when I have this kind of information, when I give you, after 20 minutes, you're gonna forget 40%. And then after 1 hour, 50%. So because we only spent 2 hours, like 1 hour ago, I took something, half of the content you lost, right? So this person, the scholar, tried to make this curve back to the immediate memory by repeating the lecture, repeating the study. However, this micro-learning changed the concept. Rather than just try to give the multiple topic, and make them just memorize only one thing. Try to give them only the one topic one time within 90 seconds, and try to give them have opportunity to have some the application. So even though they learn only one topic, they have many choice or many opportunity to apply this learning to the many different cases or the situation, which means not only just for understanding about the concepts of the new things, but also they can know how they're going to apply the knowledge to the new real life. So that's why, because from the knowledge to the application, if we have this kind of thing in a line, then the learning can be enhanced. However, if we just learn the new things, and then if we need to work as if we do not have any the application part, we're gonna just forget those kind of the new knowledge easily. I'm not going to talk about this because I already talked about some MOOC things. So, in the first industrial revolution, we can use the MOOC to learn something because it is not the era of the university, but also, as I told you before, it is not important where you study and what kind of degree you have. So as long as you study and as long as you prove what you can do, you can get something. So, and also, as I told you before, by using this kind of free translation service, the language barrier is not the limitation to take some the MOOC class with some different language. And so this is like a micro master program. This is kind of new things. So even though you take MOOC course, however, you can actually get the degree with some the lower price. Because this is like from the MIT. If you wanna get the master's degree from the MIT, you have to pay about $60,000 per year. But if you take this, you just need to pay $4,000 per year. So even though you pay less, then you can earn the same thing. So we try to have this kind of the expansion of this kind of new concept, and this is one of the example. So from the Georgia Tech, they have some the master of the computer science. If you want if you want to be as a residential student, you have to pay between $30,000 to the $40,000 to get this degree. And also you have to pay the living expenses, those kind of things. However, if you take some MOOC class, then you just need to pay like a $7,000, and then you will get the master's degree. However, for the school, in only one single semester, in spring 2018, this school has 6,365 students. Can you multiply by $7,000? So it's like a huge amount of the revenue for the school too. So not only just for the student, but also school is really good for the school the revenue. So the U.S. universities, whenever we have the conference or the meetings, we try to think about how we can reduce the entrance barrier from the international student, because these days it is not just like a localized, a local area. It is like a global area, like a global period, like an era. So that's why we try to have more international students who actually can study in the local area. They don't need to get the visa. They don't need to get came to the U.S. However, they can get their own degree from the U.S. universities. So just for example, for the Korea, so they have many universities. However, their the number of students is decreased, and then U.S. universities lower their entrance barrier. Then, as the Korean student, where are they gonna go? They want to have the degree from the MIT or Harvard, or they want to get the degree from the Korean universities. So these kind of problem, not only just for the Korea, but also any other single country will have this kind of problem in the future. So in sum, I just want to say, no matter what how we're gonna call for the new the movement or new changes. Some people say the fourth industrial revolution, and some people say, hey, that is not exist. However, no matter how we're gonna say, the changes came to us, and then we have, as I explained, we have these kind of changes. Something already that happened to us, or something gonna be changes within a couple of years. So, if we don't know about these kind of changes, and also if we cannot prepare for these kind of changes, then there is no guarantee for our life. So think about that. And then, if you have any question, then email me, then I can just keep talk about this kind of future education and the future of your life. Thank you.